Hi, I'm Kiki and I'm the Starlight Witch. Today I'm going to be talking about the 5 things I wish I knew before I started witchcraft. In this video I'm going to try and slow down when I'm talking because I noticed in my last video I said like 1,000 times. And I'm doing it now as well. I'm going to try to slow down so it is easier for me to at least cut all those out. The whole recording thing is very new to me, so it's very awkward. I'm just sitting here talking to myself, so it's very uncomforting. But onto the actual video. I'm going to be talking about the 5 things I wish I knew before I started witchcraft. And the first thing is very obvious to me now, and I did actually learn it really fast on, but when I first started I didn't know, and it's why none of my spells worked when I first started. Spells cannot work without intention. You can't just throw ingredients together and hope something will happen. That's not how magic works. You need to give each ingredient intention. How I do it personally is I will hold each of my ingredients in my hand and I will talk to them and I'll tell them what I need them to do in the spell. If you're a closeted witch, you can just hold it in your hand and say it in your head, or if you're able, you can whisper it as long as no one's around. But yeah, you can't throw ingredients together and expect a spell to happen. This next thing has caused me to lose so much information because I didn't do it. Make sure to write everything you learn down. You can watch hundreds of videos or read hundreds of books, but if you don't write it down, you're not actually obtaining any knowledge from it, unless if you have a great memory. There are so many things that you can hear or see and think, oh, I want to do that, but if you don't write it down, you'll most likely forget, and then you'll never find out if it works for you or not. Writing things down is so incredibly important. It doesn't have to be super fancy or anything. You can just write it on a plain piece of paper, or it could even be on your phone or computer or anything you want. I've personally lost so much information because I never wrote anything down. The next thing was quite a struggle for me when I first started, and that is don't make every part of your day magic. Don't be doing spells or magical rituals for every single part of your day. I originally tried to do that. Like every meal I cooked I was trying to use kitchen magic. Every shower I took had to be a cleansing ritual. And I got burnt out so fast. When you first start, it feels nice to have your whole day be magical, but you'll get burnt out very fast from it, and in the long run it does more harm than good. So make sure to have parts of your day that have no magic in them at all. Another big thing I was worried about when I first started was doing witchcraft wrong, but there is no way to do witchcraft wrong. Witchcraft is very personal, and each spell is very personal. So there is literally no wrong way to do it. There will be people who tell you that you're doing something wrong, but in reality, you can't do it wrong. If you do something the way you see fit, then it's right. And that is something I didn't know, and I was very worried about, because I was always scared that someone who's been practicing longer than me was going to tell me I was doing something wrong. That never happened because I never told anyone that I was a witch or anything. And now, even if it does happen, I know I literally can't do a spell wrong. The last and most important thing is what scared me most when I first started, and that is protection. When I first started, everything I seen, everything I heard was talking about how important protection is. And that is true. Protection is important when you're a witch. But the thing that I was seeing made it sound like if you didn't have 10 protection wards up, that something terrible was going to happen. I was actually scared to start doing spellcraft because I felt like I wasn't protected enough and that something terrible was going to happen. But in reality, you don't need that much protection. I personally have 2 protection wards. I have one for just my room. It's the space I do all my witchcraft in. And I have a protection necklace that I wear when I go out and just throughout my day. Don't have it on right now. But that's all I have. And I used to have a lot. I think I had 5 protection wards at once because I was just so scared that something was going to happen, that an evil spirit was going to show up or I was going to get cursed or something. But in reality, that doesn't really happen. As long as you're being respectful and you have at least a protection ward. If you have a protection ward, you'll most likely be fine because the point of that ward is to protect you from anything that would come to harm you. So if someone tries to put a curse on you, it would go to that personal ward of yours first and it wouldn't reach you. What I think is actually more important than spiritual protection is physical protection. Because in all the years that I've been doing witchcraft, I've had one person attempt to curse me and it didn't work because I had a protection ward and it got to that first and never reached me. But I've had several glass candle holders explode in my room. So I still agree that protection is probably one of the first things you should do when you first start as a witch. But throughout your practice, you should be making sure that you are properly taking care of physical safety, such as handling candles and burning incense right, know the plants you're working with so you don't end up with a poisonous one, for example. And you should always be wary of glass candle containers because I've had several explode. That's all I have for today. I'll see you in the next one.